Blame Truth here, and what you are seeing is an overview of the map that broke me. It kind of looks like the Pac-Man ghost or something, doesn't it? Like in the face or whatever. But I assure you, it is unfortunately all too real. It is the map Babylon from the Black Ops 6 beta. Let me just give you a small taste. I pulled this off Reddit. Let me just give you a small taste of how utterly trash this map is. This might look normal at the start. This guy's killing some people. Look at this. They literally spawn touching the barrel of his gun. The spawn system doesn't just make the map bad, though. It's just a bad map in general. Along with the packet burst here, just look at the left and then look at the choppy gameplay every time this happens. I mean, this was happening constantly. It's definitely worse than it was a few days ago with the, non-open beta. But, like, I just don't understand how this billion-dollar fucking company cannot fix something as simple as packet burst. And I can go on and on, but the main thing I want to talk about in this particular video as we transition to an X-Defiant gameplay, I am sorry, guys. I literally cannot bear to play Black Ops 6 between the spawn system, the constant packet burst, the just horrible maps. I mean, just terrible maps. I can barely play enough to rank up, on top of the game making me fucking motion sick with its bobbing back and forth camera movements and all that stuff. I can't do it, man. I'm just gonna post this X-Defiant gameplay and talk about Black Ops 6. I'm sorry. But I do want to talk about the maps specifically. We can talk about Packet Burst all day. We can talk about all this stuff, but I think I need to really show you guys this and rip the lid off this, because there is something so soulless about these maps in the Black Ops 6 beta that I truthfully believe that they weren't designed by a human being. And I kind of have proof that this is all generative AI. But before I put on my tinfoil hat here and get down to the meat and potatoes of this, I want to talk about just the 4 pillars of what makes an FPS good. And I think most seasoned FPS players will agree with me here. This is, of course, pertaining to multiplayer arcade 6v6 arena-style FPS games like Call of Duty multiplayer, X-Defiant, Halo Infinite, etc. Stuff like that, Gears of War even, we could say. I think most people would be in agreement with me. Now, if it's Activision or Call of Duty, they're going to consult the data and say that skill-based matchmaking and protecting little Timmy No-Thumbs and Peter, the father of 4, is way more important than anything else, and that's what keeps player retention high, or whatever bullshit they're sputtering at any given time. But I don't want to talk about that or consult the data. Oh, won't someone think of the data? No, I want to give you the actual data here. So first and foremost, maps. Multiplayer maps, I truly think, are the most important thing in an FPS as far as, being good goes. I truly do think that maps are the foundation of a multiplayer shooter. If your maps are bad, your game is bad. No ifs, ands, or buts there. Can I get a fucking amen in the comments section? I mean, think back to the best Call of Duties. What do they all have in common? Great maps. Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 typically come to mind as some of the, most praised maps of the series, and it's no surprise that those are some of the most beloved Call of Duties of all time. On top of that, though, I think matchmaking is super important. How fast it is, how varied it is. No skill-based matchmaking or light skill-based matchmaking are preferred. Matchmaking, giving you a varied experience from lobby to lobby, is super important, and that's just something COD isn't doing right now. Gameplay loop / flow / smoothness. I don't mean movement. I don't mean like if a game has a lot of movement or it doesn't. I mean just how does the game control? Is it smooth? Is there a nice gameplay loop on the multiplayer maps? Is there a nice flow on the multiplayer maps in every single game mode? That is a super important thing. And then finally, number 4, I think, is gunplay. I think gunplay is really overrated for, how important it is. It's last here because Gunplay can be arcadey, it could be realistic, it could be whatever, as long as it's fun when you engage, you know, as long as you actually have like kind of a battle of wits there going on. I think that's more important than necessarily how the game feels from a gunplay perspective, but that's just my opinion. But those are my 4 pillars. Now I have to ask you, and please answer honestly, what does Black Ops 6 have out of these 4 things? Honest to God. You might say it's smooth, you might like the Omni movement. I think it's clunky, but also just the packet burst that I showed you, the spawn system, it just kills the gameplay loop and the flow and the smoothness when you are rubber banding around and then like watching people spawn in front of you. The maps definitely don't help with that. And the matchmaking, I don't even have to talk about that. Skill-based matchmaking has been literally turned up in the beta from previous years, and I'm not kidding there. That's another video for another day. Some would say gunplay is pretty good. I think it's okay, but it feels really inconsistent, and there's desync, really, really bad desync. Way more than X Defiant, which, you know, that's gotten X Defiant some shit, the hit detection, the net code, and the desync and whatnot. I really do think it's worse in Black Ops 6, and I'm not just saying that to say it. Like, it is arguably worse in Black Ops 6 for the simple fact that you die so quickly. When you get literally beamed like you're getting shot by a sniper, it's jarring to say the least when it comes to Black Ops 6's, you know, gunplay or whatever. So I really don't think Black Ops 6 does any of these 4 things well, and I think it's a dog water FPS, but I'm here to talk about the maps. I just kind of wanted to get that out and really talk about it as like an FPS vet here and see if you guys agree, disagree, whatever. But we need to talk about this AI-generated map theory that I have. Now, I covered this briefly in a previous video several months ago, but it bears repeating here. The first thing I thought of, especially when playing the Face-Off maps and the new Babylon map today, and even Scud! Fucking Scud! One of the worst map names and one of the worst maps, personally, I've ever played. But when, like, playing these maps, the first thing I thought is, are these AI generated? There is, like, no gameplay flow. There's no old Treyarch feel to these maps. Hell, there's not even, like, personality with these maps. These maps feel hollow or something. They feel like they're just locations from the campaign that generative AI kind of just did a pass over. You know, like, it truly does feel like that. I want to show you guys this. This is from earlier this year, and this is about Treyarch actually hiring people to cover generative AI art in their game. Check this out. Reed Southern says, Treyarch making it abundantly clear they have zero concerns about ethics, liability, or copyright with generative AI. I know it's my personal dream job to pull a slot machine lever and polish the output for a AAA studio. And if you look at this, this is basically Treyarch wanting to hire on people that would clean up generative AI art stuff within their games. This is before Black Ops 6 came out. Now, here's the thing. They've already sold a bundle that is pretty much confirmed to be generative AI. I think they did that with Modern Warfare 3, Warzone, whatever. But we know they're coming with Black Ops 6 because, I mean, people will buy whatever in Call of Duty. You could literally write, like, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 on a jar of camel shit, and you could probably sell it to some dumbass for $70. So there's that. But, I mean, if you look at this, what's the next step after generating AI art? Generating AI game mechanics and gameplay. And what's the simplest of that? It's generating stuff in the game, actual geometry in the game. That's the next step to generative AI. I seriously do think, and we haven't seen all the maps yet, but from the ones we have seen, I seriously do think it's all AI. I'm not kidding. Whenever I played Skyline, I just kept thinking, like, this is an AI version of Hacienda from Black Ops 4. Can someone back me up on that? Am I crazy in thinking that? That's all I could think of immediately when I played it, is just like, this is like a poor man's Hacienda with no soul put into it. Like, there's no semblance of human architecture in designing this map, in my opinion. There's absolutely nothing that makes me feel like I'm playing on a multiplayer map that's meant to be fun and engaging. It's just like a battleground made from generated geometry, and then it's passed over and cleaned up by the Black Ops 6 art team or whatever, and boom, you have Skyline. It's a mid map. It's not even good is the thing. Like, a lot of people are saying it's pretty good. It's the best map in the beta. It's mid. It's very mid. We got to be honest with ourselves. The rest of the beta maps are god-awful. I'm serious, guys. Some of the worst maps I have ever played on. The worst maps I have seen since Modern Warfare 2019. And that takes some talent, man. Anyway, guys, I'm out of time. Leave your thoughts below on the Black Ops 6 beta. Rate, comments, subscribe, ring the notification bell. I'd rather drag my nuts across broken glass outside of a Philadelphia bar while a homeless man calls me a gay slur than play Black Ops 6. Peace.
Here's some parting advice.